Now be recorded.
Awful.
They put this meeting over your chest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even after it was cut.
Okay, we'll begin with the flag salute.
I've been there, done that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we welcome everyone to October 31st Marion County Commission meeting. A little bit different time, but we're between payday and our regular meeting, so we're shooting for 11 o'clock start time today. I guess first item would be agenda approval. Any additions or corrections or changes to the agenda?
Do we have an executive session for just the commission?
We're going to have several at the end.
Okay,
So.
okay. All right, I just don't see them on the agenda.
Okay.
Personnel?
Yes.
Yeah, personnel, yes.
Also, you're gonna, I believe, if I could have 5 minutes with you to discuss property acquisition
Okay.
in
So
executive
there'll be a
session.
personnel property acquisition. And others that may come up as we get into the counselor session. Public comments. I believe there was one on the packet.
That
Yeah.
was-
I'd like to thank Max Hagan for that historical data.
Yes.
Hmm?
It gives history to the.
Yeah, it really helps to, you know, when you're thinking about the future, it's also good to look back.
Very good.
A lot of stuff there that I didn't realize
Right.
from years ago. Historical perceptive.
I have a commission comment here to start with here. It's in our packet. We received a payment from Enel of $100,000. But the real fine line is, that's the last full $100,000. The bottom line is you get down to $12,030 will be deducted next year. But out of a total of $520,000 $520,005.00 was spent for professional services for the other wind farm project. And the wind farm project down here, we are doing a lot different ways and a lot better ways. Now, the weather's a little different than what the project was up there, but that $520,000 should be to Marion County, in my feelings, and it's gone.
Yep,
Just
that
went down the road.
That was a previous commission decision.
Yes, and I was part of that, but,
They made some big mistakes.
yes, so, thank you.
Yep.
With our educational fund.
Okay, all right.
That's where I do my mistakes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, were there any online public comments?
No,
Okay.
there are not.
Any other public comments? All right, ready to move into administrative business.
Okay, we do have the sales tax that was in your packet, $74,722.87. And then we have the grand total payday this month is $2,184,103.08.
Okay, questions on payday? Commissioner Becker had a comment earlier, the healthcare and the jail is, or dental care is certainly.
Well, that when we get into the payments for the month.
Obviously nothing.
But yeah, well, just a general observation, and like the general public, we're not exempt from inflation, and I think you can all see what inflation is doing to our budgets. I mean, just the cost of doing business is ridiculous. I don't say ridiculous because everybody's paying it, but
It hurts.
boy, when I see the cost of spark plugs and stuff like that.
Okay, any other questions or comments on the payday?
We'll deal with that at budget time.
Yes. Yes. I believe there's an invoice for Western Associates. There'd be a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gary to accept the invoice from Western Associates and Dennis.
$65.09.
It's not inflated, is it?
That's pretty minor.
That's minor.
I thought there's two of them.
Yeah, there's two. The total is $65.09.
And a second by Commissioner Dalkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
I abstain.
It's 4 in favor, 1 abstain. That brings us back, I don't think there were any outgoing.
No. There was it broke out, and it had 0, that I could see.
That brings us to full payday. One last call on questions. If not, is there a motion to approve payday in the amount of $2,184,103.08?
I'd make that motion.
Commissioner Dalkey, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Crowfoot, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, and the boards are there for your signature for both the payables and payroll.
Tim, I had a question. Do you ever run a report by vendors, how much you pay each vendor?
We can.
I mean, like the energy, the telephone, so we can actually see, with individual checks? I mean, every quarter or once a year?
Okay. If you tell me what exactly vendors you want, I don't think you want for every vendor, probably that. Or do you? I mean, do you want every vendor?
If it was once a year, I'd be okay with that.
Maybe every vendor over $500?
We don't have the ability
You
to
don't
do
have
that.
that, okay.
Yeah, it just,
That, I wouldn't want to see that too often. But maybe if it was just once a year.
Once a,
So we-
once a year,
Yeah, a lot.
you can't stop it at a certain dollar volume.
I don't.
You have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a vendor activity report that we can run, but that would be every vendor
Yeah.
that we have. And,
Okay.
I mean, if there's specific information you're wanting, like,
Right.
we have a bunch of different utilities, different phone providers,
Well,
different.
I know.
And so we didn't have a good way to track that, and so we started a spreadsheet, like a year ago maybe, to try to keep track of those costs, so we can, I can make sure Ashley has that up to date, and then we can provide that for you.
You need a better accounting program.
Our accounting program is great. It's just, so,
Don't mess with it, okay.
don't mess with it. But, I mean, if there's certain other kind of information that you want,
We do that just to see.
it's, I mean, like I said, it's doable, it'd be massive.
Yeah. I was looking around trying to find it, and I thought I was gonna blame Kent, and then I went.
Oh, that's right, yes,
No, it's over there. Got it. All of a sudden, I lost network connection, and I was trying to diagnose it myself.
No power.
Yeah, we can, when would you like to have that? Do you want it today, or do you
No,
want?
no. I mean, might be a nice year-end figure.
Okay. All right.
Be an eye-opener.
I can fill us in the tables and have it work. Okay, I have, yeah, let me see what other things I can do. That's just, I just didn't think about it. I have the minutes of October 11th.
Commission had a chance to review minutes October 11th.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gary to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. Any discussion, corrections? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay. I must not gotten the minutes in there for October 24th.
Didn't see it.
I guess I will provide those for you for the next meeting.
We'll take what we got.
What's that?
We'll take what we got.
Okay. So I do have one that was approved previously that didn't get signed, and then this is the one you just approved.
Very good.
Don't plug it in.
I did order a corner piece for over there to get rid of this one and put a piece of furniture around the corner, just like this one. So, for the presenters to sit at. So just letting you know. Okay, in your packet, you have a resolution declaring delinquent personal property taxes to be dormant and uncollectible, and there was a list of those taxes attached to it. And I printed out the resolution. There's been a lot going on. Okay.
That would be 31.
Yes.
Very good. Commission has had a chance to review resolution 2022-31, a resolution declaring certain delinquent personal property taxes to be dormant and uncollectible pursuant to KSA 79-2101. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Balky. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. Next, we have Resolution 2022-32, the resolution appointing Emergency Management Director for Marion County, Kansas, as Marcy Hostetter. I would move that resolution for approval. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay.
We did have lease purchase bids for the Ford Explorer.
What's the rest of your names?
Okay, we asked for lease purchase bids on the Ford Explorer. Lease amount was $37,103, term is 6 years. First bid is Marion National Bank at 5.3%. The second one is from Cottonwood Valley Bank at 5.35. Next one is Community National Bank at 4.06. I believe that is it. Give the commission a chance to review those.
Is there different fees and stuff?
Going origination fees and all that.
Are they
50
consistent?
bucks. $250. What are the origination fees on those?
On this one, it's $2. $102. From Marion National.
Yeah.
Yeah, any way you look at it, it's still gonna be cheaper.
Yeah, it's still, long term, it's still cheaper.
And again, you may or may not want to go forward with the lease purchase. We paid for this vehicle out of the general fund.
Yeah.
With the intent of the lease purchase financing and reimbursing the general fund. And then the health department would pay the payments out of their budget.
I think that's still not too bad a rate, even though it's about twice as much as it was last year.
On a vehicle, 4%.
So that's very good, I'd say right now.
So would your recommendation be to go with the lease purchase?
Yeah, Community National.
Would you want to make that
I'd
motion?
make a motion, we do the lease purchase on the Ford Explorer with Community National. What was that rate? 406?
Yeah.
406.06 for 6 years.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Discussion. Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you.
That was for the health department.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all I have at the moment.
Okay. Would you want to do your executive on the personnel?
Yeah, that'd be great.
5 minutes.
If that's, oh, actually, I'll need one on personnel and one on real estate acquisition. So either one.
How about we do the one on personnel? We got 10 minutes. At least not got one out.
Okay.
I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance, with the commission, Tina and Brad, for 5 minutes, from 11:20 to 11:25.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Herring. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0. Be back at 11:25. Guess I should have added another minute.
You're about to get whooped. I know.
We're on, I'm sorry, she just hasn't spoken.
This conference will now be recorded.
I'm not starting until she speaks. We are out of executive session, no decisions made. The next item on our agenda would be the Veterans Memorial discussion, so if the people in the hallway want to start signing in and coming in, that'll take a little time.
Veterans Memorial discussion will be next. If you want to start signing in, get ready to get to it.
Yeah, I just went home, around Alabama, they.
Warren, come up to the microphone. We'll wait till the rest of the people get in before we get started, if that's all right, unless you have something to hand out. Perfect, perfect.
Still want to do this today?
We'll pass it out.
That's up to you.
Sure, I do. So maybe after the
Pass it
meeting.
along.
I need one more.
Before I go out to get 2 photos of kids in their costumes.
Oh, you gotta do that first too, or?
No, before I go.
Oh,
do
okay.
that.
Oh, we do. I mean, one more. We got one more.
There we go.
Okay. Be good.
Half an hour for Veterans Memorial. And then go to the GE stuff.
Yeah. So, Andy, how much is building over here, that's good, you think?
Is what?
Okay, present. Yeah. You go, Josh, you go.
Yeah, he's been wanting it for a while. I think it was.
By the way, commissioners, you're in charge of pumpkin judging today, just letting you know. Pumpkin judging.
There's stuff there.
What
You
time
get
is,
to,
what time is that?
whenever you, before you leave.
I haven't carved one yet.
You get to pick the winner of the contest.
I didn't bring the mic. Mike is to see if it's supposed to be around or not.
I like, oh, well, those
Jonah's got an app.
giant pumpkins.
Oh, he's got a wrap for that, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
You're the
used that. app,
spokesman,
so
Josh.
I need that mic thing.
Now you all stay.
Because we all know a little bit more than,
Then
we
the
all
other
know
one.
it all, but we have different areas that we've been, yes.
There's that one person knows everything, huh?
We try, but you know how that is.
Yes, I do.
Mind coming up a little further so we're not blocking the door? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Josh, if you need to push that table forward, you can.
You can't.
I mean, I saw who sat behind you, so.
I'd liked you better before I met you.
That's most people's experience.
All right, looks like everybody's signed in. Josh, we're going to start.
Yes, overall, for the Veterans Memorial at the County Lake, we've got some architectural and engineering drawings that I believe each of you have.
Get your name.
Josh Enlow. Everything's overall in your literature is pretty well labeled to give you a rough idea of basic idea of what we're looking at doing. Does anyone have any questions on any of what you're seeing?
Any electrical lighting in this one? There's not. Okay.
On the drawing, it doesn't show any electrical.
Okay.
Most likely, we're gonna go solar.
Solar? Okay.
And if you're looking at this one, if you turn it to where the big tree is at the top, that would be your north side.
Yeah.
And they put it towards the bottom of the hill, and it will all be level, dug out level. On this side of it, it'll be 3 foot across here, go up 2 feet, and then back 3. And that will be what would be facing, the stop sign. I forget the name.
North.
Lakeshore.
Okay,
Lakeshore Drive.
so that would be what would be showing towards that outside portion.
The biggest portion of that wall will only be 3 foot above grade from the upper end.
We went down to just the one flag.
Yes.
And the rest are going to be the plaques.
Now, eventually, we might put flags out.
We had talked about for ceremonies.
Oh, sure.
Just temporary, because
Right.
that many
Yeah.
flags are hard to keep up with.
Full-time,
Mhm.
they get about pretty fast.
So one would be permanent, the other would be for events
Yes.
or Veterans Day, Memorial
Yes,
Day.
absolutely.
Other than that, it wouldn't be up full-time.
Okay, very good. Yes, Mr. Paul?
After this was erected, what would the veterans group expect the maintenance to be for the county?
Just what they're doing now, keeping it low.
Overall, just the grounds of mowing and
That's it.
trimming.
Yeah.
We have somebody that said they would designate themselves to check on the flag since they live out there. So the flag, if it's tattered, needs to be taken down because of weather, it can be taken down and it's not left up.
That's my concern. I am take care of the cemetery at Peabody, and sometimes flags are not taken care of.
Well, and it would be James Slade Huber.
Okay.
He offered, he lives right out there, and he flies one just as, at his house, he does the same thing. Sometimes the wind out there is a bit much.
And that's one of the biggest concerns that we want to make sure stays upkept.
Yes.
But as for the Veterans Memorial, I mean, it's its own separate entity. It's all on its own.
It's not VFW Legion, it is a group of veterans and community members who are supporting this idea.
It's all over the county.
Yes.
Marion County.
Every veteran from Marion County.
Correct.
will have a name inscribed.
And
Correct.
we've been working on doing all the research to get all of the veterans' names throughout the county, so we can have all of them listed on the wall.
And it doesn't matter whether they went to war, whether they were stateside, every Marion County veteran.
Every veteran, yeah.
It won't matter if they lived here when they went in the service or moved here after they come out. Anybody associated with Marion County is eligible for this.
Like my father, we didn't grow up here, but we moved here.
Sure.
He died here, was a veteran. He was a Marion County resident for years, so we've decided that, there's so many transplants that have come through Marion County. And to recognize every single one of them that have ties to Marion County would be the proper way to do it.
Good. Other questions?
We haven't checked on insurance with this, see what it does to our insurance program, make sure, that's the only other thing I can think of that's, long haul would be something to, I don't think it's.
The historical side, Isaac still has that.
Isaac still has that.
Yeah, we're still checking on that. He hadn't gotten an answer back yet.
Yep.
We sent him the new drawings and blueprints once we got all that together.
Haven't got the official okay from them yet, but it sounded like it was gonna be okay, just haven't got an official.
Kind of like the meeting here.
Yes. And overall, what we'd like to do is, like on Veterans Day, we're calling it a groundbreaking, but it's
Ceremonial.
It's a ceremonial, what we want to bring more awareness to it so we can get more people involved and more people informed of what we're doing.
And that's been really hard without the official drawings and blueprints. I mean, you can talk all day long, but until you have something, people, they'll listen, but they want to see it.
Yeah, and with that, we want to have everything on display on that day so everybody can be aware and see what we're trying to do.
That may be the word that got some people concerned, was groundbreaking versus promotional, informational.
Yeah, overall, it's just a ceremonial. Just really trying to get the ball rolling. I mean, we've come a long ways from the beginning, but we still have.
And just like we have somebody to do our dirt work, but until we have somebody to do the concrete, you can't do the dirt work until you have the concrete ready.
Do you have an estimate of when you might have enough money to start?
Until we start really getting the public involved. We do have 2 or 3 businesses that have come forward and want to donate with, but they want to, but again, they want this.
Is it 2023 or 2024?
I would hope that in 2023 we could actually start the groundwork.
Let's try to get information out here.
But we can't do that without getting people involved.
And that was our holdup for a while, was getting our engineering drawings back. And now that we have them, we can proceed on.
So with the memorial bricks, would that just be purchased by individuals?
Yes, that would be an online, it'd be a website people could go to. They put in whatever brick size they want, whatever pet family, whatever family name, business name, and it's a fundraising. And that'd be just that brick. And there's room that if you needed another layer, but that was a fundraising. That way your community could be involved and be out there as well. Say you have a veteran that it's not from Marion County, but there's no memorial where they live, so they put their name on a brick. There's different options for the brick sales and what could be on them.
Okay, the walls themselves that are visible, is that going to be a stone, tile, concrete block? What is your thought?
Is that concrete?
It'd be concrete with probably black marble laid up in it. On the wall, there's on the designs, there's the middle one above the American flag is going to be for killed in action. Just their names on that one. There'll be 3 off each side to start with, and then we have plans. If we need to add more, will come out with a freestanding slab with names on both sides.
Within that concrete slab.
Okay. But the walls themselves are going to be a concrete?
Yes.
Okay.
And the retaining walls will follow through.
Right. And then the panels you said are going to be a marble?
Yes.
Okay.
And the wall's gonna be faced with stone.
It's more, the new design, how they're using concrete and putting texture in it or whatever.
Oh, okay, that helps me, because I was thinking just concrete.
It was an expense thing.
Sure.
I mean, if you really start putting stone and the masonry work
Facade type.
But they have so many textures and designs now.
You can even print it right in step.
There you go.
Thank you, yes, that'll look very good.
So the overall management of the site be under Marion VFW, or Marion VFW and the Legions, or?
It's the Marion County Veterans Memorial is what it's on.
But I mean, who's kind of the? There'd be no overseeing entity?
That would be the committee that started this and will continue on with the maintenance, and we'll have to also have people be able to put names later on that were missed. And that's something on our website that we've talked about doing, is putting an availability for somebody to go in there and put their story for their family. Because we'd like to have those, what are they called? QR codes. So while you're out there, somebody could scan that code and it would pull up the information of whatever story belongs, whatever they decide to put in there. But on the website, they could input information so that, oh, we've missed this person. So we could come back later and put those people in.
Veterans in Marion County, is that an organization? Has it been formed properly?
We're working on the proper part. It's hard getting people to commit to a committee.
Yeah.
So we have a group of us that are constant.
Yeah.
And then we have veterans from Northern Marion County and Peabody that are in and out. We're trying to build that information, the reputation, get people involved.
Mm-hmm.
And until we really get some people involved, the 5 of us are doing all we can. But we need more people, and more people need to be informed to get the people.
What I'm getting at is for us to go ahead with the full-on approval, right, is you're gonna have to have some organizational
Something that's
bylaws, certain things.
That's what we're working on. We do have our bank account, our EIN number. We have that set up.
How did the EIN number come under?
That was the bank that
I
required.
understand, but there would have to have been a name attached to it.
I attached Marion County Veterans Memorial.
Probably need to get that done fairly quickly in terms of, so you have something that's legally recognized, like an LLC, or
Okay.
various types of not-for-profits that are very inexpensive, or even the 5 of you to create
Okay.
as a starting point, as the organizers. That's not hard to do.
Okay.
And you've got that in place, that will allow the IRS and everyone to recognize it. Plus, if you go in and get this going and have someone come in that contracts to build that, they've got to contract with someone. And it would either be all your individual names and personal liability, or it's going to be an organization that has all of that structural power. So
I understand that.
not hard to do, it just needs to be done.
Okay. That's easy enough.
And you guys today kind of want permission.
We want permission to do our
To promote it
groundbreaking.
next week.
Our promotional.
Overall, just proceed with trying to get done what we're trying to do.
To keep moving forward.
And the reason we chose that date is because it's Veterans Day, and it's on a Friday, so we figured it.
Sorry, go ahead. Mr. Counselor, what do you see in an agreement to, once they get that formed, and they come to us to put this together to go ahead for construction, what all do we need to have in line at that time? I mentioned insurance, I mentioned what happens if somebody drives far through there, who's all the responsibilities, can it be laid out to where
Yes. And
10, 15, 20 years from down the road, something changes, something happens?
that's part of the reason that I was saying what I was. I appreciate the effort, but we're gonna need some organization that serves as the focal point for whom we are granting something if we're doing so. There's still some questions out there from the public at large that still attempting to get answers to from documents that existed 90 years ago, in terms of the way things have been dedicated out there. All of that contractually has to be put together in a way that they can rely on, and the county can as well.
To be inside Lakeshore Drive, there would have to be a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Really to fit.
And again,
So
that's
I
not
don't know if-
difficult to do as an LLC, they can do that.
You can pull it off as an LLC. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, I can treat it as a 501c3 without.
$55.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But isn't a nonprofit organ, a 501c3, that takes some legwork and paperwork?
From my perspective, it doesn't feel all that complex for someone who's never done it before,
Okay.
perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I
very
deal with
straightforward.
501c3s with VFW.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been
It's probably-
employed by them for going on 8 years
Okay.
and
You got it
helping them
covered
with
then.
everything.
Probably go under their umbrella.
Well, and we talked about that, but we were really concerned about one organization.
Oh, okay.
When it's not
Sure.
about
Good point.
one
Good point.
organization.
Good point. Point taken.
So what you need is one person from each veteran
We're working on that.
organization in the county, I mean, from the VFW and the American Legion.
That's what we've really been trying to work on.
But the other thing you could do is every veterans organization in the county can become a shareholder within this LLC, so that they all have someone who can be representative, but it doesn't, it dilutes that, so you're not looking at just one of them saying, I'm answering for all of us.
Correct.
So it's very practically speaking, something that's doable without control, and you're familiar enough, I think, with the 501c3 part of it that it's just a paperwork
Right.
we have to put together.
Okay.
What steps would we need to take to allow the proceeding with the ceremonial groundbreaking?
From my perspective, just for comfort, I would like to see that organizational thing put
Perfect.
together, and that literally is online, and I've drawn them in a half hour, you know, so it's not like that's gonna take a lot of time, if that time is somewhat of the issue. Some of the other elements of it, in terms of the contractual element within which the county is gonna be involved, can take a little bit of time, because we have to set those things up and put it together. I can do a punch list for that, as to what we would require and what we're gonna have to be able to answer to make sure that it works within Lakeshore Drive. So, and again, there's some things that we need to flesh out.
Could we just do an event, maybe, I mean, just like a
Awareness.
family picnic?
If I change the name from groundbreaking, because that was just actually an invitation to you
Yeah.
and a few, like, legions, that was actually, wasn't supposed to be public. I have a flyer that's sitting there waiting for today to see what changes I need to make to it if it happens. But if I change it from groundbreaking to ceremonial
Celebration or
celebration
something. To
or,
announce,
because we were planning on doing a meal, but it was probably gonna go back to Florence Legion. I haven't heard that answered yet, we don't know that yet properly. I should have
We
brought that
wanted
up.
to utilize the lake hall, but
It
it was rented
booked.
out.
But we were planning on doing a meal after promoting this with the big blueprint and the plans sitting out.
Connors has a big tent.
Well, we talked about
If the
that.
weather's gonna be nice, yeah.
Yeah. So we're still fine tuning that, we're waiting on a meeting, but if we changed the name and didn't promote it as a groundbreaking.
What are your thoughts?
What day do you want to do this again?
November 11th.
Veterans Day.
It's gonna be pushing it.
Next week. Yeah, they won't have the paperwork done.
Yeah, that's gonna be the biggest stumbling block.
I mean, we could just call it a family gathering and
Has there been any board action to even, in support of this? I mean,
It said if they could get it off the ground, we would allocate a certain area.
That's the extent of it.
That's it.
well, you did the survey, but did you actually take action to allocate it or to approve or to support it? Because I think would that, even if we don't approve, if you all don't approve this right now, I mean, it seems difficult for them if they're gonna move forward with, if you haven't given any kind of indication of whether you're gonna allow it or not. I mean, anything official that I can record in the minutes.
But it's hard for us to approve anything until the legal steps are met. I mean, a support.
I mean, at this point, without all of the pieces in place, I think the only thing you could do would be, if the board is in support of it, to make a motion or to put something, some sort of a consensus that you are in favor of allowing the project to move forward if all the legal requirements are
Could be
met.
met.
Okay, condition.
Right, I mean, if that's the way that the board is leaning.
Be like a condition of support without naming an entity that is in charge, because we don't have the entity yet.
It's an indication of conceptual.
It would just be
support.
saying that the
Concept.
Marion County Commission is in support of a Veterans Memorial, period. That's all it'd be.
That work?
Because of what we did at that time, we went ahead and commissioned, in essence, the survey. But when I was looking at from the earlier notes that I made and email, that commissioned that. Why not, so you'd have some idea where that would potentially go. And that's as far as it.
That's as far as.
Josh, if I was driving down, Marion County Lake Road, this is all I'm gonna see is what you presented here from the roadside, right?
Yes.
And that's supposed to be facing the intersection where you
Facing
come
the
into the
intersection,
lake.
come down, look toward.
Right.
Okay.
So it'll be like this, it'll
Yeah,
actually
I've
be
looked at back there,
facing
yes,
that road.
I see that.
there'll be
But
3
the
foot.
intersection's
3
back
foot
there.
high.
The intersection's
Yeah.
here, so it will actually be facing
Yeah.
the west here,
Okay.
northwest.
Northwest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is there someone else that wants to speak? Is there anybody else out there that needs to speak?
Okay, we've got someone that would like to speak.
I have a question. What's the estimated cost of this project?
We were looking at 125 to 150,000.
How long has this project been in place? We're going on 8 years, is that right? 7 or 8 years?
No, see, it was started 8 years ago with my father
Okay.
and Warren Kreitzinger. My father died, so it kind of went into a folder and just sat there.
Yeah.
And going through my father's paperwork, I found it, brought it up to my board, and interest started going with it again. That's why it sat dormant for so long. And my father's the reason why I want to help push it, because it's something that he was totally involved with.
I understand that. How long do you estimate it's going to take you to raise $150,000? And also factoring in that we're in an inflation period right now of about 10%.
Your biggest percentage of donors are going to be larger businesses.
Okay, but those are in place?
We've got discussion going.
Okay.
I've been given information to fill out for one donor from McPherson County, and that's a bigger business. But we haven't, until we really had some more information, it's hard to do fundraising until you have something to show somebody.
I understand.
So we're starting, you know, we've been crawling until we finally got our prints, and now with our prints and our design, we can move forward. I mean, I can throw barbecues all year long, people can donate a few bucks in there, but that's not gonna be your major donors. And you will rely on your major donors as well as your community who want to support it, as well as barbecues or whatever we need to do to raise that money. Time frame, I would hope within the next 4 years that it's complete. I'm saying max. Because you have different phases where you're gonna have to start your dirt work, your concrete work, you're gonna have your name plaques. It's gonna take time to get all the names put on the plaque. You have landscaping, there's a lot to do. Even though it just looks like a little bit, there's a lot to do, and it's gonna take some time.
Right. Concern with any project, you know, if I start to build a house or a project, you know, I need to have the money or the financing in place.
Correct.
If we start building this, if we have a groundbreaking or we do dirt work or whatever, then what is in place if you run out of money or for whatever, you just don't find that you have the support? Is there going to be a surety bond? Is there going to be personal financial guarantees? What is in place?
As far as what
I've
I've understood.
Can I finish my question?
Oh, I thought you were finished.
Yeah. In a normal project, those things would be in place to assure, especially on a public county area like this, to ensure that it is completed.
Well,
Is any of that been considered, or is any of that in place?
at this point, we have a donator for the dirt work. Next thing, we have to find somebody for the concrete to see what the exact cost is going to be from them and the cubic feet of concrete, what it's going to cost. There's a lot of people that will donate their time. And so, just like our dirt work person, he's donating his time. That's going to cost us nothing. We cannot start construction on anything until you have enough money to pay for this section and this section. You can't start your concrete unless you know you have the money for the black granite. Now, the way the stone world goes right now, the black granite could take a while to even get here, but it would be here. There's different phases that we have to go through. It's not just you're going to do this fundraiser. We have different phases of this fundraiser.
I think you've answered the question.
As of right now, we've raised just enough funds to get to where we are.
Right.
And plus a little more, but before you can get any more funds, if you go to any financial anything, you have to have
Even
blueprints
grants.
and specs before you can proceed.
I
So
can't
that's
go for
where
grants
we
without
are.
this.
Absolutely.
We got a memorial account at Marion National Bank that doesn't go through anybody. They go directly to the bank if there's some money comes in. No one individual handles that at all.
Got a question on the bricks. Have you kind of estimated how many bricks you might sell? How much money you make off each brick?
I
mean, it
have
costs-
that information.
I mean, it costs $10 for the brick. and it's gonna
The
sell
brick
for
actually
50.
cost, what was it, 75?
I think it was 75 is what we were talking, but we don't,
That's what you're selling for?
we don't have anything set in stone right there yet.
It's fundraisingbricks.com is what I'm going through. And so everything will be done on their website.
You're gonna double your price, so
Oh, there'll
Oh,
be
it-
profit.
The original brick is like between $15 and $19.
Yeah.
you know, we gotta have
We're
100
talking
bricks,
75 to
1,000
$100.
bricks.
See, we've just got all this complete, and now that we have this, we're going to proceed and start working on estimates of
Right.
what it's
I typed this
actually,
many bricks
so we
down.
can get an actual cost of what we need to raise.
Numbers,
we're
I'm
just-
not positive.
Okay, well,
But the thing with the bricks, it's an easy donation for somebody that can't afford 200, 500, but their family name or their organization is left. It's there to show that they supported this.
I just put the veteran's name on there, the service he was in.
Well, that's up to the public. That's what we're leaving the bricks for. It's total
It's
fundraising.
veterans, it's not for families.
We talked about that, but if you do that, you take your fundraising availability from this.
Some of it could be
To
a local
this.
business could just put their business name on a brick for fundraising out there too.
Consider it like sponsored bricks. I don't know. I mean, we've had that discussion amongst the committee, and I believe it shortens your fundraising ability to take it and only limit it to this, when you already have all your veterans on a wall. So that to me would be your sponsorship. They called it a walk of heroes on one of the designs because the heroes are supporting our heroes.
Marble is where the actual names of the veterans were.
Correct.
The rest of
Okay,
these
I thought they were going in the brick.
No, the brick is total fundraising.
Okay.
So you can put one on that says
Go ahead.
Dave.
Yeah.
If you have time, visit the Peabody Cemetery, and they have different levels of awards.
Mhm.
And that's a whole plaque different for what the center directory is
We
there.
do have
But
that
it's-
started.
But it's a neat way to do it, that if the family wants their name, business wants their name on it, all can go on that plaque. And then if you leave the bricks alone, like Dave said, if you do it to the service veterans name or whatever. But it's a neat way to do it. I mean, that group that did that down at Peabody was very organized and it just.
It's a nice memorial.
Yeah, we have talked about doing about the same thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Different levels, different plaques.
Commissioner Becker?
I think right now, where we're at as a commission is either, that what we can do right now is either support or not support the concept. Once they get their legal entity done and filed and all of that, you know, and then maybe by then you might have a little better idea of cost, you know, then we could give our graces to it. But at this point, we either support or we don't support the concept.
I agree. Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion.
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you please state the motion?
Okay, I will make a motion to support the concept of a county veterans memorial
At the Marion County Lake.
at Marion County Lake.
Second. Thank you from Commissioner Becker. Second by Commissioner Dalkey. Further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. So I'm gonna ask the council just again, are they then able to do the promotional ceremonial event?
Don't call it groundbreaking.
Yeah, I can't call it groundbreaking.
You just,
Or just have
So
it-
just a
have it-
celebration for Veterans Day at a possible, we can't even say possible future site of it.
say future
You
side.
can?
Project.
I would stay away from saying even future. site.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
You show the picture, I guess.
I'll figure something out.
Well, the concept could go anywhere in the county, honestly.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, we're just supporting a concept.
True. Okay. Well, we do appreciate the work you've done. You've come a long way. There's still a ways to go, but you've answered a lot of questions. Obviously, a lot of thought. Hopefully, there's gonna be some publicity come out, we'll get more people to support the project, we can move forward.
Thank you very much for your time and support.
Thank you.
Right, a French? I thought I knew you. You didn't what?
Well, I know your dad was in that service, huh?
Yep. He was over in Vietnam.
Sorry, guys, my leg fell asleep. I don't want to stand up any longer.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Maybe we just have a recess.
That's a nice jacket, by the way.
It's a simple.
Flag rifle.
That's pretty good stuff. Kind of pricey, but.
Yeah.
Josh, if he can fight through the
Yes.
Paid
crowd.
for all this stuff, did they?
Yeah.
Hello, Josh. Howdy. You think everyone was here for your session?
No, I had to double check, see what was on the agenda. I forgot about them coming in here.
Thought everyone came to talk to you.
Yeah, it was, it's whatever, man. Let her act like a duck and let it roll off your shoulders.
There you go. Okay. What do you have for us?
We talked about that one trailer I've had broke down to fix it.
Yep.
And if it was just a couple $1,000s, I wouldn't do it, but I'll let you pass those around. We're over $11,000 on just the module piece of it. I can replace one piece and it not be that, keep going, and you know, I hate replacing pieces after pieces and trying to get it fixed where they have it where 4 bolts I could drop it out and put a new one in. The trailer wise, there's a couple holes in it, but it's nothing that we can patch up real quick. But it's a lot better shape than, and it's my older trailer, but it's a lot better shape than the one that's 1 year newer than it is. That stuff, I don't mind putting the money in it, but I've got money in my equipment budget. I know it doesn't fall under the equipment budget, and my line item for everything else is all messed up. I'm over budget on one line item and stuff. It's just been a rough year. And stuff. I just kind of see where we can go on this and what your guys' thought on things are.
Okay. When's that new one supposed to come? Another 6 months?
Another year.
Another year?
Well, it's we did that. We kind of figured it's around November, December next year before it even come in. So.
But you feel pretty confident that this is a structurally sound trailer, just needs the repair?
Yeah, it's a good sound trailer. I have no problem with, if we could be able to put that money into it.
Right.
Like I said, my line item where that would come out, I don't have the money.
Support it.
I can't support it, but I do have the money in the equipment side of it because we put down the $9,000, so I actually have about $130,000 left in it. So I don't know if that's possible to be able to do that.
I mean, I haven't looked at your budget, but.
Yeah, it's a
as
mess,
long-
but.
Don't tell me that. It's actually not, I mean, because as long as he has money within the fund, he's fine. So whether he purchases it out of an equipment line item or another line item, as long as his bottom line doesn't go
Move it
over.
around.
As long as the bottom line is good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have not looked at his budget. In fact, that's on my list. I'll be looking at all the budgets once we close October. And so as long as his whole fund isn't in trouble, it should be fine.
If we want to wait till after she looks at it and find out, that's.
Because short trailers now, aren't you?
I've got 3 trailers. If we can get this one up and going, this will be a 4th trailer, and I can kind of slide the other one off.
And then we just had the quote on, well, we should have bought 2 trailers when we had the chance. So
But that
this
one that we
is,
ordered last year is not in yet.
right.
No, he said.
The one last year we ordered, I got it in December last year. It came in. I've got it. It's in rotation, but we just ordered one here a month or a couple months ago.
Okay.
That won't be until December next year.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. We should have ordered that one with the other one.
Mhm.
Ordered two
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. Nobody knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I would say that if the board wants to proceed with this, just make a motion to approve pending, as long as the budget is.
Close.
Yeah.
Is that agreeable? I would make that motion that we proceed with the repairs contingent upon making sure it's availability of funding in the budget.
Second.
Discussion?
I think, okay.
What,
Second by Gary.
what else can go wrong with that trailer?
This whole module is actually all the hydraulic pieces underneath of it. It's got everything I need there where we just be able to, like I said, drop and put this new one up in there.
2 weeks from now, you're not gonna come in and ask for another 20,000 on this trailer.
No, because they're talking about 4 to 6 weeks before we can get it. So it might be 8 to 10. No, this one I'm confident right where it's in that area. So.
And the only thing you go bad is to change the bottom of the trailer.
Well, it's all hydraulic. It's all just moving. So it's cylinders. This is all cylinders. All the everything. So it pushes. It uses a floor to push it. So.
Okay. Other discussion, questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
I'll get with Tina here or let her. You want to send me a message when you do that? And
Well, when
we'll
you
go
get
over
your
it.
budget reports from Ashley,
Okay, just come
then we can go over them
Okay,
together.
that'll work. We can do that. And that's all I had. So.
Okay. All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Way to go, Josh.
We actually got getting to you early.
I smelled food when I came in, so I was.
Hey!
Welcome, Marcy.
Welcome, thank you.
A little quieter this week. That's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. It is, yes.
Wind
That's
died
back to
down,
you.
it got rain, huh?
Yes, and we're expecting more rain hopefully this weekend.
Oh yeah, like massive amounts maybe.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
kinda
a little
hoping it
floods.
holds off till after the health fair on Saturday,
Yeah.
so we can load everything back in the trailer, but we'll see. So I'll take what I can get.
All right. Thank you, Marcy.
I'm here today to give you first an update on the weather radios and remind you about what we talked about last time. You guys had wanted me to order the 2 different types of radios, small amounts to see how they went over at the senior centers. So the first presentation, I had 34 attendees. I gave out 5 of the home use ones and 15 of the crank radios. One of the things that we do at the presentation is the first part of the presentation talks about electronic alerts, which I showed you guys that information about Everbridge last time. The second part of the presentation, I go over the difference between an advisory, a watch, and a warning, so they understand the difference between those. And then the last part of the presentation, we go over the weather radios, and there's 2 different types. There's one for home use, and then there's one for travel. So one is a crank radio that you can have in your car, and the other one you plug in, or it has batteries. So those were the 2. You're only allowed to pick one. You don't give out the 2 to people, just one. So whichever one fits their lifestyle. They prefer home or they prefer travel. I still have one more senior center to do a presentation to, and that's not including the ones for next year. I'm just talking this year. So what I was looking at is, you'll see in the sheets that you received in your packet, you'll see information on, I put both of the different types of weather radios in case you guys wanted to choose one or the other. I also have on here the different amounts that people chose at different senior centers, if you wanted to choose one or the other. If you want to do both quotes are in here just in case. The other thing that was mentioned to me by Midland Radio, possibly for next year, Motorola does some grants for weather radios. So what I'm looking at is for possibly for next year, actually, instead of the county doing this out of the current grant funds that we have, using a grant specifically for the weather radios. It is a grant specifically written for that. So I have been talking with Motorola about that and getting them for all of our older population. So that way if somebody does want a home one and a travel one, they can have both. Because at this point in time, we have to choose. So that is the information that I have today.
on the weather radios.
And your recommendation would be 30 of each?
If possible, yes. And that's why you see the two separate codes. That's why you don't see it combined.
Right.
I know it's still under the $1,000, and I know we're still paying with some grant funds for this, but I had to put it separate because if there's one you prefer me to get over the other, I will go ahead and do that. If you want them both together, since they would be paid to the same company, that's over the $1,000, so I figured I'd make sure and okay that through you too. So whatever you decide, I just thought I'd give you guys an update on what we've done, or what I've done so far, and who we've given it out to. We've had a really good, now on my second senior center presentation, it happened to be right after the fire, so that one went a little bit longer because the first 10 minutes I had a lot of fire questions. But I do enjoy doing them to the senior centers. They're very open, they're very honest, they are very straightforward. But the best part, they know what AM/FM is, so I don't have to spend 15 minutes explaining what the AM/FM channel means. We also give them an entire listing of all the frequencies that National Weather Service has for the state of Kansas. Several of them also do some traveling, so I gave them frequency information for Oklahoma and for Tennessee, just in case, because I have access to that, so I just printed it out and sent it to them. So there's a couple of them asked for that.
You find that most of the people that want them are people that don't have smartphones?
Yes, quite a few of them, or they still have flip phones. Some of them had alerts. The ones who were getting the travel radios, a lot of them have regular cell phones. That they can actually receive the alert notifications. Because we also talked about like the What 3 Words app when you're traveling. And a lot of them that picked up the travel ones were ones that had regular cell phones, so they didn't want a home use one because they said their actual comment was, I use my cell phone. But for traveling, as you know, when you use your cell phone, sometimes you have dead areas, and your weather radio works for that. So that's mainly the ones that were picking up. The travel ones are the ones that have cell phones like we do. So the ones that had the flip phones are the ones that tended to use the home use ones. So it just kind of depends. A lot of them are old, outdated, they don't work anymore, and they just didn't think to replace them. But one of the things that is important with preparedness, if we can't reach you, then you don't know what's going on, we can't help you. So that's one of the things I kind of pointed out. If you have a weather radio that's not working, if you don't have these apps on your phone for us to get a hold of you, you won't know if we're evacuating a section of Peabody because of a flood. So I need to be able to reach you. How am I going to do that? And that's what the whole premise of these weather radios is for, is so we can reach you and let you know this is what we've got coming. So,
I'd just like to make the motion to take Midland's quotes for both quotes and turn them into orders.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Gary to accept 30 units of the travel and 30 units of the home units. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Excellent, because that's, if we can't communicate with people, that's absolute key.
yeah, if I can't reach you,
Don't.
we're in trouble.
Yeah. Excellent, Marcy. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Marcy.
Oops, sorry.
Good job, good job.
A little bit early for our next agenda item. Can we slip in a 5-minute personnel?
Sure.
Since we're scheduled for 12:30.
That'll work.
I move that we
You
recess.
gotta read, right?
Yeah. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, not elected personnel performance with the commission, Brad and Tina, for 5 minutes from 12:20 to 12:25.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We'll be back at 12:25.
That was you.
Yeah.
Nobody touched it. You
Well, that
left.
makes sure
I'm sure you
Hide that stuff we put in.
Yeah.
You notice it's not open.
Oh, shucks.
Oh.
We had a needle. All right, we'll move into the county attorney annex building. Oh, I'm sorry.
Come back.
Has the lady spoke already?
Yes.
We are out of executive session, no decisions made. I have a motion to approve the setting of pay grade for Deputy Emergency Management Director at grade L.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garing. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. Sorry about that. Paperwork.
No, I was just coming in to check on the annex building, if there have been any decisions made or what those decisions were. If not, I understand, but I think just trying to prepare where we're going, what we're doing, if we're needing to start packing up or not.
Right. One thing the commission's been looking at you had a lot of options.
We got a lot of moving parts.
Moving around, but obviously the space is available at this point. A couple of the concerns, one of them was the access. Your access would be from the north courthouse side.
Correct.
And EMS access would be from the parking lot.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then you're gonna have to have a locked, secure door, basically to the bathrooms.
Okay, yeah.
So that you have security on your side, they have security on their side. They need the 24-hour access coming in to get to theirs. You need your access to your side. Another issue would be if they need someone disabled coming to their side, that they have access coming through your office to get to their side.
Okay.
It's just a matter of working together.
Okay.
That's.
I don't think that should be a problem. I mean, taking that access.
I understand.
But I mean, so are we needing like quotes in order to see what that's gonna look like? Or
There's
are
two,
we there
there's only two things that really need to be done. The first one is the secure door on the south side from the access from the parking lot. So there's security between EMS and county attorney. So there's gonna need to be a door put in there with
A wall.
with a lock.
With a wall.
No, because they have to have access to the restroom.
You've got your hallway coming in the back.
Yep.
And then there's a door here into the EMS.
Yep.
This wall stops and turns a corner. So you can't just put a door here. You'd have to build a wall over and around that
Yes,
door.
a wall and a door, yes.
And then a door there.
But you can't just wall it off, there has to be a door. I'm sorry, Gina?
Well, I just have a little bit of a concern
Yes.
about not, I mean, is there a reason we can't all access through the same direction and then put the security further back or to get into the attorneys? Because I have a concern about the handicap accessibility. I mean, I don't feel like that needs to be just on an occasional basis. We need to always have that available for either office.
Okay, what was your plan for the main opening area where you first come in?
I think you were talking about having Caitlin and or
Right, we have
Cheryl
like
there.
a reception up there.
Yes.
Would be the plan, but I mean, I guess if we have to change how we're going to do access, I'm trying to think about our drawing. that we have.
Preliminary.
Could there not
chicken
be
scratch
a
drawing.
reception that is
Okay.
outside the secured area or?
Yes, I think so.
So I mean, knowing that, I mean, we could go back to, I mean, I know that Jay Christensen's been in there, I mean, doing the work, and so I could talk to him and get some ideas from him on how to.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't you think
Yeah,
that's a
I do.
concern? Okay.
There's no
I feel
reason
like
that
there's a
that
concern.
access, that both people couldn't use that.
Right, that's what I
If they
think.
need to, yeah.
I mean, I think that it needs to be accessible from both
Yeah,
sides.
I agree.
I mean, just so that we don't get into a
Yeah.
spot with not having.
Both
any-
offices have to have some ability
Yeah.
with handicap accessibility,
So-
so might as well just make it one common.
So Jamie had two entrances, one in the front, one in the back.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how to secure your.
And so that's our, kind of our
With the walls.
hump that we've got to get over, is figuring
Yes.
out access
Yes.
and security and all that. Okay.
Which we can't do until we know if we have it.
I mean,
Well,
The,
John?
Instead of turning that wall around the ambulance door and there, can a wall be added down through there to where a receptionist office could be to the west of that wall in that open area? Is there enough room? I don't know if there's enough room there to where when somebody comes in from the handicap area, they go down a hallway to get to the ambulance.
Right.
And right on through the building. And then the wall and the door goes to these guys so they can lock their stuff off completely, if there's enough room there. I'm just suggestions, is all I see. If we're gonna put a wall up, why, I don't know, there's, to get a wheelchair down these rooms.
No,
to get
what I'm
down through
talking
the
about,
hall.
full-on wall, it was just more of a way to break the two areas apart, but still have a door in that wall that allowed you to go use a bathroom from either department.
But what we're trying to do is what Tina's worried about, trying to get access to where you can do it without bothering the clerk, this person, I'm just thinking of that.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean,
if
I
there's room,
feel
I
like
don't
shared
know.
access is gonna be important, especially during bad weather, because those back steps.
Yep.
I mean, we de-ice them and everything, but they can be pretty
So
treacherous.
you're talking at the handicapped entrance at the vestibule and opening up a way to go into EMS
Yeah.
or go into.
Yeah, I feel like you need to have both
That would
doors
work.
accessible to
That would
both
work, just-
departments.
But then.
Kills a lot of space.
Then you lose your security between the departments going to the bathroom.
Lose your security.
Right.
Well, each office would have to have their own, I mean, they want to lock the door. They lock their door right now.
Yeah.
Their door's locked.
So, something needs to be kicked around a little bit, drawn up, just a chicken scratch drawing or something, just to prove concept.
Well, we can
Okay.
have Jay do that.
Yeah, I think that's something we can.
If you understand the
Yep.
issues they're kicking around, so that there's handicap access through, but yet you have security, they have security.
Yes.
Okay.
Dave?
Yeah, it wouldn't just about
I think right now,
require
they just
wall.
wanna know, are they moving or not moving?
Well, part of it is.
We haven't said if they're moving yet.
And so, I mean, so we've gotta be able to figure out, can we make this work, have
Right.
access, have
Right.
Yeah, we need-
handicap accessible access to both departments, as
Right.
well as being able to secure both departments.
Yes.
If we can accomplish that,
Yes.
we get over that hump, then it looks
Yes.
like
Yes.
we're going.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was, it was contingent,
Yeah.
mine was contingent upon being able to address that concern.
Okay.
To both departments' satisfaction.
Do you wanna make a motion?
I just have another question yet. Also, part of it would be the moving of files, and I think that was in part of your design, was storage space for your files.
Right.
Now, there's files in the attic and there's files in the basement.
The files in the basement would be going. And I would assume if there's the room over there, we would take what's in the attic also.
And I'll be honest, I don't know exactly how
Well,
many files are up in the
I mean,
attic.
in 26 years, there's a lot of boxes up there.
I mean, also, I think that you need to consider what type of filing system that you get over there. You might need something that's like a
Right.
giant rotating
We're looking at
thing.
those type of things
But-
now.
But you need to take into consideration all the files in all three
Yeah.
spots.
Mhm.
So if we go over there, I
Mhm.
mean, taking the stuff out of the attic, is that a requirement that, I mean, or,
Well,
I mean, I know we're
guess
trying to work on.
We've gotta clean the attic out anyway.
You gotta do something.
So
with
it's
it.
gotta go somewhere.
It's gotta go either with you or it's gotta have a
Well,
different way
all
to-
we have to do
So
is
as long as-
temporarily do it, right, Joel? Because we are scanning.
Oh, you're in the
We're
process of
scanning,
digitizing?
yes. When we get the time, we're
Yes.
scanning
Yes.
our files
Yes.
and getting
Yes.
rid of the boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
It'll be done in 30 years probably.
Yeah.
probably
I
so.
mean, that-
But maybe we
but
can
it's
hire somebody to do just that, sit there and just scan.
And
Well,
that's something.
If you guys wanna kickstart it, then we'll just pass them around to each department after they're done with you.
Yeah. 'Cause
That's a
something
good idea.
We really have to do as a county is we've got to get on the ball and digitizing documents. Got to.
That's what we talked about across the street, turn it into a scanning
Yeah,
department.
yeah. But if that could even be part of the transition.
Okay.
But if it has a huge advantage to us if all that storage goes with you, obviously, because it frees up a lot of
I think
space.
those-
And it gives you ready access to it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't have to go there or there digging through the files, it'd be right there.
So, I mean, we can, I don't think that's a big ask to get all that done.
And I do have a comment online from Chuck Kinney, and he says he's in the office and would be happy to help with a rough drawing if Mr. Insee would like to.
If you could work with the EMS department on that.
Okay.
That'd be really great.
Yeah.
You're in the same place.
Yeah. So we'll talk with that.
The EMS director, that's not Chuck Kinney,
Interim.
right?
It is right now.
Interim.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Interim.
I didn't know if they hired
Yeah, the
somebody.
new one will be coming mid-November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kurt Hassard.
Got it.
So Chuck is interim. And I think Chuck probably, or Kurt would maybe like to be involved in it, since he's the incoming.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But between Chuck and contact.
Okay.
So I guess back to Tina's suggestion, the motion was.
Be just more of a directive. You go proof concept.
Prove that we can do
And
it.
then we'll move forward.
Go from there.
Provide us a concept, that's
Okay,
good.
very good.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay, I think we got the ball rolling now.
All right, sounds good.
Been sitting there idling for a while.
Oh, we're going, so
We're
I
going.
appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So the consensus, since there was no
Consensus.
motion, is the county
Yes.
attorney's office will move or provide a concept for
Provide
approval.
concept for moving to the annex with joint occupancy with the EMS.
Okay.
Okay, go there. Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Sheriff, do you have some comments for us?
I just saw a bunch of people on camera, thought I'd come check it out.
No. Actually, we've got 5 minutes. Would you mind giving us a 5-minute personnel
Yeah,
executive session?
you're
on
probably all kind of curious about what's going on. And I'll just.
Another one? Personnel.
No, I'll just say it out loud.
Oh, okay, very good. If it doesn't need to be.
No, unless you wanted it in an executive.
That's your decision.
That's your department.
Just
sure.
if it is about a specific employee's performance.
Let's go
then-
executive.
That's not like that'd be good.
Don't need to be sued.
There's certainly reason to be. I move we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance with the commission. The sheriff, Brad, and Tina for 5 minutes, 12:40 to 12:45.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We'll be back 12:45. And we'll be right on schedule.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're out of executive session, no decisions made. Ready for Road and Bridge. Bryce?
This first thing, did Tina pass on the paperwork for the 5069 project? No.
Did you
Basically,
email that to everyone?
just to you.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, it's basically the final authorization for the project that was let on 190th and Nighthawk. The low bid was from Bruce Davis Construction of Emporia, and KDOT submitted the paperwork for us to sign to submit our $40,000. What do they call that? Anyway, to pay for the $40,000, so.
Copay.
How much is the project amount, and then our county portion, do you know?
It's all in that paperwork, I didn't have it, so, sorry. So is it LSU orange or Texas orange or?
You know, it's
I think
actually
I'd be
just a
wearing that.
fashion statement.
I say Texas.
I don't think I'd be wearing that after the game this weekend.
LSU.
That was the worst beating by a top 10 team in history, I think, is what they said.
That's what
Since,
it
at
says.
least, since 1960 something.
Really?
I was all over the place Sunday, but every time I'd stop, I had to link up with somebody else, so I'd check out, and everybody just ran and raving. Man, or Saturday, I'm missing something big going on.
Everybody kept checking back, is this right?
Yeah. Well, you just didn't expect it to go on the whole game.
Yeah.
Well, a half or something.
And what was crazy was, I was in Manhattan that night before, in homecoming. I actually stopped at Call Hall to get ice cream.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Coming back, and just a line of traffic because of homecoming.
Yeah,
I got out of there just in time.
Because people come from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Humber Brook is
Long
77.
drive home.
That'd be an awful drive.
It was this weekend.
77 is always, it doesn't matter where they're going, it's just north and south, so.
And you don't want to pull out on Friday night, Saturday afternoon.
Okay, I just forwarded that email to all of you,
Yeah.
so you can see what it is, and,
Sorry, guess we need to follow up.
sorry, it's just been a little, there's been a little.
Whole project was 3-something.
334,000.
Yeah.
117.
Yeah. They, like I said, they told me that all the bids for, October were all over engineers estimate. The contractors are that full, and they're just putting extra money in there just to make sure they can cover it. So.
Russ, I'll ask you on that. Originally, maybe even last year, before everything was done on the Nighthawk project there, the intention was maybe asking them to extend are they gonna re-blacktop? Is blacktop coming in?
Yes, it's all
Or
new.
asphalt?
It's all new, yeah. We actually, when we did the full depth reclamation, held off for this project limits.
Right.
So we did not do that.
There's probably 150 yards, I don't know how far from the project to that culvert that's there.
Oh, yeah, on the south end.
On the south end of the project, just thinking of maybe running the new blacktop over that culvert, just past that.
Okay.
But-
I'm sure it wouldn't be, it would have to be non-participating.
Yes, correct, just asking them off the side,
Yeah.
if they'd give us a price for
Yeah,
that.
I had, other than who was red low, it's not even approved yet.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so, but, the contractor did say it was definitely gonna be next year's work, so.
Next year.
So we have a motion to approve contractor Bruce Davis Construction for Nighthawk and 190th intersection, county in the amount of $40,000.
Just a question.
Okay.
The whole project's coming in at 421,000. We're talking about participating costs, so we're actually paying a 10% based on that number, not actually on what the 334. Just
Well,
pointing it out there, somebody's gonna ask.
Yeah, the other thing that we're in the process, we'll get reimbursed for quite a bit of our PE, preliminary engineering design work and stuff like that. So that might include that as well.
I'm just wondering if we're paying ourselves basically from the what it looks like.
Did you do the engineering on that, or we had?
No, that was Cook Flat Strobel.
So we will be paying it.
Right, so we would need a motion to authorize the project to move forward and then to pay the invoice to KDOT.
I would make that motion. Second by Commissioner Balky.
What is actually that 40,000 for?
So our 10%, there's a 90% federal fund and a
Yes.
10% county fund.
For the high-risk rural roads.
I
This
guess
is-
that.
I mean,
I
that's
guess
still
I'm
fine. It's
thinking the
just-
same thing you are. Why is it 40,000 when it's?
Well, it's $100,000 more, but we're only paying $10,000 more, so, I mean, we can't really balk too loud.
Any other discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
And talking about I guess the federal signature. I think it requires everybody to
Yeah, we can't sign unless at the same time.
What?
sign on each other's names.
Get distracted. Yeah, you keep going.
Sure. Okay.
Is this a next spring, next summer
Yes.
project?
Well, I honestly, I don't know. We gave them basically from approved contract this year, so if they could get it done, the weather would hold out, they could still do it this year. But I'm 99% sure they were going to next year, and they did confirm that. We basically said that they have to have it done by, I want to say November 1st of next year. So gives them plenty of time to fit it in for. Yeah, there's contractors that can't get their work done this year, they're pushing off to next year already, so.
Kansas project?
The design, the aerial is back, they're confirming that, I don't know what the deal was, something about if the video is ready for the actual placement onto design pages or something like that. So, still working on it.
No, no, and then, doing blade patching on the north side of 56.
Yep.
Is that all gonna be reclaimable? Because that's part of the.
Yeah, we're just doing that because that last month, we basically
I
did that whole
know,
month.
it's rough.
Yeah,
but I
and
just said-
that's why we did that. We're gonna actually replace that first 1,000 feet, but we said, you know, if it's gonna be, you know, in the next year, we need to do something about it. So, and which brings up the next thing. I was going to, blade patching should finish north of 56 today. Gonna go south of 56 and get those spots. Wednesday, possibly finish that off. Wednesday, we're gonna try to get the spots at Canada, and then Thursday, go out to 290th west of Durham. Weather forecast for Friday doesn't look good. We were gonna have another meeting for our tablets for our new system on Friday as well. But next week, we'll have to see how weather holds out. And then the end of next week, they're shutting off our oil. So basically, we'll be done blade patching, getting material, things like that. But I think we'll be pushing our luck to get to the second week in November anyway. So.
Why are we blade patching south of 56? Just because it's that bad?
The real bad spots. Not the whole thing, just the spots where it's blown out. So, just right there.
Because weren't we gonna get to that yet this winter on a contract?
For the concrete?
That's what he was just talking about,
Yeah.
the Kansas spot. Yeah, but I just, you know, it may be, you know, in the next year before we get that project done. So while we're there, we're just trying to.
Gotta do something in the meantime.
Yeah, so I wish I knew for sure when that was gonna be. I wouldn't do it,
But once you put that down, is it reclaimable or?
What do you mean by reclaimable? There's really nothing to, they're gonna, I think they're gonna mill it out.
Okay.
And so whatever we put down will be there, even though it's not that good of material. But, so, get those spots on Canada as well. So wish we had a lot more time and weather and everything. So, but anyway, and then after that, we'll get back to culverts and hauling rock and stuff like that. So, just to follow up with you on the permits, the Evergy permits, you had asked specifically that the permits that Evergy sent in for their entrances when they were done, to make sure that I followed up that they were taken out for that big high line from Hillsborough down to Florence. You don't do that. Anyway, I followed up with all of them, and all of them have been taken out, so satisfactory and been.
Evergy?
Well, the contract.
Okay. Yes,
for the high line.
yes, because the line is out now.
Yep.
Yes, okay.
So they will be
Yeah.
coming back to do a dismantle of the other one.
Okay.
So I did follow up that. We have a lot more coming from EPC, which is a contractor that's actually doing the transmission line down to the Butler County. They have submitted a whole bunch of permits, basically all along 77 south of Florence. A couple of them up north, which were okay, but I passed them on to KDOT to make sure they're okay with them, because there's, with that, the new and old right of way crossing back and forth several times, and I want to make sure that everybody's covered. So sent that on there. So
How far are they? They're staying on the highway to where from Florence?
They stay all the way south until they get into Butler County.
Butler County.
And I think their substation's about a mile or two east of 77 or something,
Okay.
where they tie
Yep.
in.
Okay.
But yeah, once they get down South Burns, it becomes Butler County, and,
Yeah.
you know, so. Talking about equipment, stuff like that, just happened to be looking through Purple Wave. There is a 2021 Mack Granite dump truck, like we had before, that's coming up for sale. It only has 53,000 miles on it. So I called up the guy, and said, "Why are you selling it?" He said, "Well, we rotate our dump trucks every 2 years." And he said they typically trade them in, but they really wanted to see what the market was like, whether they'd be able to get more money from Purple Wave than they would trade it in. I can't remember what they did with the other one, but no, there was. Both of them were on here. But anyway, talking with Tom, you know, he thinks that, you know, the Mack was a definitely good truck. It's a heavier truck than what we had before. So I guess I'm kind of asking for commission guidance. Is that something that we want to try to go after? We're talking with the best guess now as far as trucks. Getting trucks similar to what we have now would probably be the middle of summer next year, and we'd be probably pushing the $180,000 to $200,000 range with that as well. So, what's the trade-off? You know, and that's saying that that's the basically when they come up with a truck that will meet our needs, they'll give us first shot at it, and this is the price, and you know, if not. So, but talking with people with Purple Wave and other people, they're estimating this truck probably in the $170,000 to $180,000 range. Northeast of Leavenworth, which really isn't that far away in comparison. So if the commission was interested or give me permission to possibly buy it, probably send Tom up there to look at it, to go over it just to make sure. But he said there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, they just rotate the trucks. So.
What kind of company?
Huh?
What kind of
It's a county.
Oh, it's a county?
County, yep.
Just like that grader we saw in Colorado. Just
Basically,
every
yeah.
2 years, they
Yep.
swap out 12
Yep.
graders.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I
So-
understand it, I'm just on my own equipment.
Yeah, and that's, you know, but I mean, if they can turn around and get almost new price again for them, then,
Yeah.
you know, but.
And once you're in the rotation, it's easier to stay there.
Yeah.
Once you fall out of that 2 year range.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, you know, this one here being a 2021, with the 23s coming out, so it's like 53 or 58,000 miles, so.
How many guys we have hauling now?
Well, we're still doing blade patch, so we have 5 trucks running.
So we have 5 drivers.
Yep.
How many trucks do we have total now?
I think we have another 2 on top of that.
We have 7 trucks right now.
So,
Is that counting your 3 highway trucks?
no, we always keep those separate.
So is there something if we got that, is there something we'd turn around and sell?
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that. I mean, we've got trucks in the 500,000 mile plus, which reminds me, I contacted Purple Wave, they'll be here a week from today for equipment. We're gonna get rid of 2 more motor graders too.
We've got health department and,
Yes, I contacted, yep,
appraiser.
yep. I told them to park if they get a chance to park the vehicles up behind the weed department, so we can.
Other thoughts on the truck?
I didn't know they were parked that.
Expensive.
Well, I know Bryce has told me before, we need to be prepared because you're gonna have to get on an order list if you're gonna want anything next year. If you're gonna rotate anything out.
I just, like I heard Josh tell me, he ordered the trailer a month ago, and it's gonna be here next December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the plan for contract hauling going down the road? We're basically gonna hire all of our rock except for emergency hired out?
That depends on if I can fill those 9 vacant positions.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I had control of that, I'd be going right on it, but, you know, until we come up with a way to get them in here, I don't know, so.
Your busiest time for using the trucks are blade patching and then
Chip sealing.
and then snow removal maybe to to some degree?
Yeah, but the snow removal typically only lasts, a day or two.
Okay,
For
so
the
it's
most
mainly
part, so-
chip seal? and
Yeah.
blade
The
patching.
blade patching especially, because our chip seal, we can get done in usually no less than a month. But our blade patching, with the amount of blade patching we have to go and all over the place, it just takes a long time.
And then it's all the spot rock
Yeah.
through the year, that's there.
Is there something on the back of the bed, behind the bed there to dump, to hook up to the chip sealer that,
Yes.
that this truck probably wouldn't have? This 2021?
I don't know that, because we probably would still have the one off the Mac that we got rid of. But it's really not that big a deal. All it is a couple pieces of steel coming off the back. It just
Something.
it gives it's about a foot long, and when you raise up the bed, it makes sure to push the material more into the chips better than drop it in front.
Gets it out instead
Yeah.
of dropping it.
Yeah, but like I said, I know we've got we take those off when we're ready to haul and rock, so
No,
just the chips in.
So what's the commission thought?
I wish I could tell you exactly what it's gonna come up, but
It's just like the
that-
graders, and
Yeah.
then,
Well, the truck's gonna be worth what somebody wants to pay for it, plain and simple, and I think that's what they know too, that, so.
I think the last international bought from Williams was right at 150 some, 160 some.
so 200 is.
I don't know when that last year, what last truck we bought.
That would have been, what are they, 17 or 18s? I think they are.
Is that what they are?
Yeah. So,
If I-
and again, this, I can tell you this Mack is a much heavier truck than what we have. But, again, we're trying to hedge our bets on equipment, so.
So that don't have a snowplow with it?
No, but I think the snowplow, I don't think would be an issue again, because most of them are standardized hookups anymore. When you first got dump trucks 10, 15 years ago, they were pretty unique, but.
But are we putting snowplows on when you've got 3 state trucks sitting there?
Well, we're only down to 2 trucks now, so.
One of them gone?
Well, it's the motor shop.
Okay.
And we basically found out it was gonna,
Okay.
yeah, that's our parts vehicle. So.
So commission thoughts, do you want to give Bryce a number to work with or not?
I guess I haven't seen how many miles are on the rest of them, but I know there's some up there at 500,000 or close.
And we got 550, close to 600,000.
Yeah.
The one truck here, 152, I believe, that's the oldest truck we have, but we're gonna keep that because the bed's all boogered up from hauling rock anyway, and it's a good big rock. So we will keep that definitely, so.
We would get rid of 2, we'd buy a new one and probably sell 2 trucks.
Well,
down the road.
again, I'd love to do that, but that's gonna come up to the budget, and like I said, I wish I could find those 9 people and fill all those trucks and then some, and we'd be back in business, but.
What does the equipment budget look like?
What did we have going this year? Trying to remember what we haven't had too much. What did we get this year? I think our trucks went into last year's. I can follow up with you, I don't know off the top of my head, so.
When does this close? Is
The
it-
8th, a week from tomorrow.
How many trucks are sitting normally?
Well, like I said, it depends on what we're doing. Right now, we've got, I think, the two yellow ones plus that 152. So, again, I'm just trying to look to the future and, so.
They're like a new truck, 53,000.
Well, essentially, yeah.
Mr. Galkey, you're deep in thought.
So you took your $40,000 over a new truck.
Yeah. Like I said, if we were to go out and quote this new Mack, I'm guessing we would probably be over the 200 grand. Because like I said, it's got a heavier front end suspension and, pretty much all the way around. Macks are kind of known for pretty stout frames. But, again, I wish I could.
Is it a big bed, one of the
Yep.
longer ones?
Yep. I think it was a 16 yard bed, had the high sidewalls and everything, so.
Do we load anything over the sides?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Okay, this one's.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be any different than the other one. No.
don't know, I think we're the culture that we're living in right now, you're not gonna get anybody to run them. We got 2.6 million less people working than we did in 2020. Where'd they all go?
Labor participation rate's gone.
I think we're bound down the road to be privatizing more.
Assuming that we can find privatizing people to do
Well-
it, that's the other thing. Yeah.
The thing is, we're still gonna need trucks for a blade patch, we're still gonna need trucks to haul rock to spot.
I'd love to say that we wouldn't have to blade patch
Well,
anymore.
and we've got trucks that are ending their life, coming to their end of life. I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. And I think you're agreeing with that we have trucks that are coming to the end of their life. And if we move them out of the fleet and don't replace anything, we just keep digging our hole deeper and deeper.
I think that's even when we bought the last two graders, Kent, was, I said, what are we doing for trucks? Just, you know, if I remember right, and we really never looked into it to see where we stood on, where we was at on trucks. So I'm yay, but yet I wanna make sure that I've got trucks that's ready to move on.
I wouldn't be in favor of buying any without selling some, though.
Yeah. I understand.
So would 180 be
I don't know. I mean, that's just what people have told it, you know, that's what they're expecting based on what things have sold in the past. But again, it comes down to whoever wants it worse than.
well, in comparison to new? I mean,
It's gonna be very comparable to what a new price is, but again, that's gonna be that was based off the information from the local supplier.
Sure.
Do we have the money to purchase it?
That's
Well,
money,
that he was talking about
money
is-
and a report from Tom.
Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, if you wanna
contingent
look
on
at
that,
it, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do a lease purchase on it, we're gonna pay twice the interest that we paid if we bought it here.
You had something, what, 4% for the
Well, I'm
vehicles?
guessing you're gonna be in the,
That's gonna go up next month.
could be 4 to 6%.
Yeah. Or we could just.
We haven't purchased nothing truck wise for
Since 2017.
2018,
5 years, that's quite a ways. I would be in favor of the 180 if we got it.
Contingent
And
upon-
get a report from Tom on.
yeah, okay.
And then selling
And like Ken said, ourselves.
Now,
rotating.
and I guess I should clarify this too, just to make sure that when we buy something, we do have to pay the buyer's premium.
Correct.
So,
The buyer's
so if it's
premium.
180,000, it'd be another $18,000.
That's what Purple Web is.
Yeah,
That's a joke.
Yeah, no,
Big,
10%.
big
That's a
iron,
heck of a chunk.
big iron's different, where the seller pays it.
Yeah,
So,
but again, you know, when it comes to, that's one of the,
Paid
but
on
that's why
both
they.
sides of Purple Wave.
Yeah, well, we don't, when we sell stuff, it doesn't cost us anything, just when we buy stuff.
So that's our trade-off. We've sold a lot,
Yeah.
if we buy some.
then here again, even though it could be 2 years, could be a year for a new truck, but we don't know what new price is for a Mack. And if we're right there again, same as the mini excavator.
Yep.
All I ask for is to see what a new price is. I don't know.
So is that a motion on the truck? No.
I hear you.
Well, then I will make the motion. I'd move to authorize the road bridge to put in a bid up to 180,000 on the Mack truck at 53,000 contingent on Tom's inspection. And what was it, selling another truck?
In budget?
And budget availability, thank you. There were 3 conditions.
Firstborn,
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a second from Commissioner Crowfoot. Other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Waiting on one vote.
I don't know, that's contingent on the money?
On the
Contingent-
budget numbers, yes.
I will, if it's there, I would say aye. Yes, so I vote aye.
Okay, 3 in favor, 2 opposed. 3 conditions.
And it was Joan and Kent opposed?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we'll get there and it'll go for 190.
Who knows, you know. So we thought we had a chance at the motor grader, and it just outside, so. Okay, didn't really have anything else other than, you guys had anything? So,
Not a personnel session. 15 minutes. I move that we recess the executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 1, personnel matters not elected performance with Bryce, Commission, Brad, Tina for 15 minutes from, what's left to 1:14 to 1:29. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We'll be back at 1:20. Nay. We're gonna go back in for another 15. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, not elected personnel performance with the commission, Brad, Tina, and Bryce for 15 minutes, 1:31 to 1:46.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor, or sorry, Commissioner Green. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Be back at 1:46.
I'll let you have it.
So the other decisions get made.
no report results back to you. So,
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're out of executive session. No decisions made. Anything else?
nope.
Anything else for Bryce? Thank you, Bryce.
Have a good day.
County Counselor, you now have nothing else behind you on the agenda.
I'm sorry. Coming out of executive session.
Okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing we have people watching.
Just making sure, that's good.
Tim?
I'm just determining what all we accomplish. These are all going to be executive sessions, I can tell you right now. First one, at least 30 minutes for litigation matters.
Potential.
Just say litigation
Okay.
matters because it's active.
I move that we recess to executive session to discuss litigation matters pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 2, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege, Commissioner Brad Tina for 30 minutes. Let's say from 1:50 to 2:20.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We'll be back at 2:20.
Just kidding.
You got them all.
Yeah.
Right, we're going back in.
Sorry, you're supposed to say.
Another half hour.
Are you friends with him on Facebook?
Are you kidding? No, my wife.
Let's try.
What'd you say about
It
this?
to me, and I said, what the
Will
heck's
now be
he?
recorded.
Let's try 20 minutes.
Went on for an
See
hour.
how many people.
I
That was
think I
just a
lost
few
my
people.
remote here. I didn't
I
even
know.
tell if the camera.
And then I kind of just got out of it.
It's the same ones.
Yeah.
So are we on?
We're on, but this camera, I can't tell. It decided to stop.
The red light's on.
Is it? Okay, then we're on. It just doesn't communicate anymore to me.
We're out of executive
Well, that was-
session. Yeah. Sorry, is there
Go.
too many side conversations going on? We can't conduct some business and move along, please? Out of executive session, no decisions made. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss litigation pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 2, consultation with our attorney, attorney-client privilege with the commission, Brad Tina for 20 minutes.
Is Sharon in?
And
I don't think she necessarily has to at this point. I think we have our answer there.
Okay.
Okay. With the commission, Brad and Tina for 20 minutes. That'd be from we're at 2:24 to 2:44.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say Commissioner Dalkey seconded that.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We'll be back at 2:44. Okay, no food recess this time.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Red light's on.
And I'm sure everybody's like, oh, and then the red light. Or like when you just shut it off. When you went right up to it and you
I
looked
know.
at it, closed it.
You'll see my face on the
And it was
camera.
right at the end. It was almost like a,
Yep.
away with you.
Okay, are we on?
We're on. The lady has not spoken, but we are on. She's gonna speak in a little bit.
I'll wait.
This conference will now be recorded.
We are out of executive session, no decisions made. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss contract negotiations pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 2, consultation with our attorney-client privilege. Commission, Brad and Tina for 10 minutes from 2:50 till 3 o'clock. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. Be back at 3 o'clock.
Oh, excuse me.
That's
Okay, on the
Acquisition pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, preliminary discussion of real estate acquisition with the commission, Brad, Tina, 5 minutes, 3:02 to 3:07.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gary. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. Be back at 3:07.
What?
Do you have another executive session?
No.
Personal. I just.
okay, we're on.
Yeah, we're on.
All right. Wait for the lady.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we are out of executive session. Is there a motion?
Oh, yeah. Move that we go with Kansas Real Estate Appraisal Services, Inc., with a $4,500 contract fee.
Appraisals.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Garing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. Any other business to come before the commission? If not, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried. We are adjourned.